Hi, everybody, and thank you for being here, for taking time out of your busy schedules to be at this Great Tech Wizard event. Thank you, David, for inviting me to speak today about something that I'm very, very passionate about, which is the market cycles, because not everything goes up all at once. We have market expansions when the market goes higher, and then we have contractions where we have our retracement. So I'm going to try to shed some light on that for you today. The topic is simple timing tools to find the trend, and just a little bit of background about myself. How did I get into this? Well, I was an institutional trader for JP Morgan for 14 years, trading currencies. Today, my topic is not going to be on currency specifically, but I was taught early on about the market cycles and Elliott wave analysis. In fact, we had an Elliottician on the desk who told us, I was an interbank trader, so I really didn't have the time to analyze markets all day long. I was just in the, in the line of fire all day long, quoting prices. At that time, we quoted prices, and we heard the over squawk boxes. We heard the brokers' prices. And this Elliottician would tell us when the market was about to turn, and it was very, very useful. So I continued my journey with that, and we have since we have a tool that finds these setups, and I'm going to share that with you today. Please read the disclaimer. Presentation is for educational purposes only. Past performance does not equal future results. Please do not construe any information found here as advice or recommendation of any kind. Thank you. This is very important. We're going to start out talking about trading the market map and understanding the cycles and getting ready for the next move. Then I'm going to take you through the spider sectors, the 11 sectors, sector analysis using the market map, and to show you which sectors are progressing well, which sectors are in retracement mode, where we are in the market cycle for all these sectors. Then we're going to show examples using our Elite Scanner tool and indicator suite. And then I'm going to give you some special pricing at the end for the scanner tool and indicator suite. I wrote the book, The Trader's Pendulum, The 10 Habits of Highly Successful Traders. And the Trader's Pendulum it describes 3 different pendulums: the market pendulum, the emotional pendulum, and the financial pendulum. We as traders need to master all 3 in order to be successful. The market pendulum is simply the trends and the corrections. That's what it is, and knowing when to get in and how to get in, and you need to follow your trade plan for that to get in the market. The emotional pendulum is the emotions that we have to face, almost our demons that we have to face every single day when trading the market. So we might have a great setup, but we might get in because we had some losses in the last few days, if you're a day trader. And so the emotional pendulum is really, really very, very important to master. The financial pendulum is simply that even successful traders make and lose money. And the whole crux of the whole key is to make more than you lose. So that happens using risk management. This is the market cycle, and you can see the emotional pendulum trading the market cycles as we move up in a trend market. And you can define a trend by putting channel lines around the trend. Up here, the market is very optimistic and exuberant and almost greedy, loading up. And we call that point T because at any point in time, we can turn around and we have the A wave, and then we have a B wave, the correction of the first leg up. And when we don't make a new high and start to roll over again, that's when we have this significant move down, where down here, the market participants are fearful, panicked, and discouraged. They bail. This is the time to be buying. So I'm going to show you several examples of this, and I'm going to show you where we are in the market cycle. And many of the ETFs that we're going to look at, we are up here already, okay? Warren Buffett says, be fearful when others are greedy, be greedy when others are fearful. That's the contrarian view. And yes, that's what we need to be. Now, I'm not saying you sell up here without confirmation. No, we need confirmation. And we need confirmation down here as well. But we just don't get overly exuberant and overly bullish up here. We might want to take some profits. So this is where we take profits or sell, and this is where we want to be buying. And you're going to see this pattern. I'm going to show you lots of these patterns in really anything that you trade. All of the asset classes have these patterns. All of the different time frames have these patterns. This is the 8-wave market cycle. And because the markets are fractal, meaning they repeat themselves over and over again, that's why you see these patterns. So I want to show you something just very interesting before we get to the live charts. What's interesting is this is the SPY weekly. Okay. Now notice I have 3 different comments down here. The 3 different comments pertain to the end of the C. Let's call it finding C, the end of the market move when we should be training our brain to be buying. Now, when we get this on the weekly chart, and we got this in October of 2022, and our scanner had like over 100 stocks that were showing the same pattern, and I just didn't know. It was like, being in a candy store with all this candy and not knowing which stocks to buy. There were just so many of them because this pattern showed up on the scanner. Now, on the weekly chart, we have a few patterns. I'm going to show you, some today, but not many, because this was the big buy in October 2022 on the weekly chart. And what our indicators show is when we get the gray arrow after a purple arrow and a significant retracement. And we have many things that go into this, not just the gray. This is the time to buy. And of course, you need a trade plan to buy in this. But I just want you to recognize the pattern. We have a strong trend. This is called the wave. This is called the tunnel. And when the wave separates from the tunnel, these are moving averages. These are the 34 EMAs. This is the 12 EMA, the filter. And when it separates, it means we're in a strong trend. We draw our channel lines around the strong trend. When we start to break down below the wave, that's when we have to expect a deeper retracement down to the tunnel. And I like to see us go. We usually go below the tunnel before the market reverses. That's typically what happens. So this was in October 2022. We also have divergence, the awesome oscillator. We make a lower low. The awesome oscillator makes a higher low. This shows momentum is running out of steam. So this was a really good indication that we were going to turn around. Momentum is great. So that was in October of 2022. Now I'm going to show you the daily chart, October, that happened in 2023, where we had all of these buy signals on the daily up here. Okay, right up here. We had a deep retracement, but we're not getting these signals on the weekly. We're getting them on the daily. Let's go to the next slide. This is exactly the same pattern. The wave separates from the tunnel, gets wider and wider, and then suddenly we break down below the wave. This is our A, this is our B, and then we break down. And this is our daily buy. And again, we had a lot of stocks showing up on our scanner for buying this. Now, I did not expect this kind of a rally off of this massive. I thought we would have, I thought it would be slower. So this is a very quick move up. The momentum was very, very strong. I thought we would have a bigger retracement down here. We didn't have it. So we have to take what we have. But this gave the signal to buy. And look at the 8-wave market cycle. This is your C, finding C, daily October 2023. Now that we're up here, we're not going to find these setups on the strong stocks that are up here. we're going to find them on the laggards, okay? The ones that are lagging, the strong sectors, for example. So there are some sectors that are weak, which I'm going to show you. So now we have to go down to the hourly chart to find these setups. For example, this is the hourly chart. This is old. This is not today. Okay. The hourly chart on the SPY would have given us this signal. All right. And again, at this time, yeah, you would have found hourly buys on stocks. But knowing where we are in the market cycle is really, really important. Now you know. So what's the process? Just quickly, this is the process that I follow. It's a 3-step process in my system. One is the analysis, looking at the market map, seeing where we are, doing a top-down approach, what I'm going to show you shortly. And then the next is the strategy. You still need a strategy to get into the trade. So we use the Wavy Tunnel Pro tools. That's my strategy, the Wavy Tunnel Pro, to get into the trade. The end of the wave C is one of our strategies. That's called the breakout 4. So it's really preceding the wave 5 move. And then optimal risk reward is really, really key. So knowing what your risk is, it can be a percentage of your account size, and you want to try to get your reward as big as possible so that your stats are, so that you're a successful trader. Let's say you have a 50-50 win-loss ratio. If you're winning 50% of the time, well, you need to get this reward higher than your risk. And then trade management. Managing your trade is really, really key. So this is a 3-step process to my system. And just as we have the 8-wave market cycle in an uptrend, we can have it in a downtrend as well. Okay, so this wave C, the end of the wave C, is the breakout 4 trade. This is the breakout 4 trade for a downtrend. Now, if we go to the wavy tunnel, you can see you can see the 8-wave market cycle following the left, the theory. So when the wave separates from the tunnel, you want to be buying into the wave. You want to be buying into the wave. It's a very steep uptrend, like I showed you in the SPY. You want to be buying into the filter, and then expect a correction. So this is the setup that we're internalizing today, that we're going to be working with. But let's do some sector analysis using the market map. Some ETF and stock examples, understanding the setups. And at the end, I'm going to show you all of our scanners. So I will show Forex as well and the stock scanners. So this is a handy website, sectorspiders.com. You can see this at the bottom. There are 11 sectors of the S&P 500. These are them. And these are them. And I took this a couple days ago, so these numbers will change. These are the year-to-date returns. So a couple days ago, the S&P was up 3.96%. Today, it's going to be higher because the S&P has moved higher. Communication services was up 9.74%. This was the strongest performing sector. Consumer staples, financials, healthcare, industrials, and technology were the strongest performing sectors. Consumer discretionary, energy, materials, real estate, and utilities are the laggards. So I would say that if you're going to scan on the weekly chart, you might find the weekly buys on the laggards, okay, which still be profitable. So let's go through each one individually, and I'm going to show you the sector chart as well as the top performing stock within, not the top performing. This is the biggest weighting. This is a listing of the top 10 weightings in the communication services, also from the Sector Spiders website. You can see this. It's very, very handy. So Meta has a weight of 28.85%, Google 11.51%, etc., down to 3.94%. So these are the 10 highest weighted stocks, not the biggest performer, although Meta is, but the highest weighted stocks under the Communication Services ETF XLC. So let's look at XLC now and see where we are in the market cycle. It's not surprising that we are still in a strong upward moving trend. On the left is the weekly, on the right is the daily. We are certainly not in the area of buying on that significant retracement. We need a different strategy for this. For this, we have our breakout 3 strategy. It's called trading the trend wave, and you're basically buying the pullbacks after buying the pullbacks or buying the breakouts in this kind of a environment. The blue line, vertical line, is the start of the year. We have, now this I took 2 days ago, so again, we have another couple of bars here. I can put we have another couple of bars here. Let me just see where Excel, okay. And we have 4 green bars and then a little inside red bar, but it's bullish, and that's why the communication services was up 9.74%. So would you be buying? Now we can look at the daily, and the question is, would you be buying up here? I wouldn't. I would be looking in this strong performing ETF. If I were to be buying, I would be buying on the dip, So the market is still bullish, and we can see that it's bullish. When the wave is above the tunnel and price is above the wave, we are bullish. When price is above the filter, we are, it's very, very bullish, but it's really important for you to buy the dips, buy really the rubber band effect back into the filter, or back into the wave if you have it. So up here, I wouldn't do anything. Okay. Down here, this was a buy, this was a buy, this was a buy, but not up here, because I don't want to buy after the market has taken off. I want to buy after it's come back. I mean, especially and the daily chart can give us a good indication of that. Now you can also go down to the smaller time frames, like the hourly chart, when you're trading, or even if you want to day trade these, you can do that too, but you have to go down, you're going down to the smaller time frames and you're looking at the same patterns. So now let's look at Meta. And since Meta is the largest percentage of this, you can see the strong move up in Meta after earnings. So that's really why this sector has performed so well. So again, wait for the pullback. There's a big gap here, and we did have more of a pullback. We went down to the 450s, I guess, yesterday, and then now it's back up again. So yeah, I mean, again, the time to buy Meta is on like the pullback or anything. Let's look at XLY, consumer discretionary. A little bit down. Amazon is the biggest weighting with 26%. Tesla has 13.63%. We know that Tesla underperformed. I'm going to show Tesla. So this may have pulled this down. And then we have McDonald's and Lowe's and Booking Holdings, etc. So these are the 10 largest holdings within consumer discretionary XLY. Let's look at XLY. And since the beginning of the year, where we see the blue vertical line, yes, we have traded sideways more or less and came right down into the wave here on the weekly. And we've come right down into the wave on the daily. Now, this is a sideways market. So this is, I mean, this is still bullish. The wave is above the tunnel. So you would be buying on the dips. And if that translates into buying Amazon or buying some of the other stocks in this, you might see a similar pattern to this. You'd be buying the dips. And eventually this will start to trade higher. And I think it started to trade higher today. Okay, I think we've taken out this high today, or we're close to the high. I'm not exactly sure. So you'd be buying the dips. And we're looking at Tesla here to see why this was down year to date. And you can see that Tesla really formed a top, and we started to trade down here. The wave has flattened out to the tunnel, and on the daily, you can see the wave has pointed down and actually is trading below the tunnel. So it's not in the most bullish state right now. Okay, it's not, you'd be picking a bottom. You would have to, if you bought Tesla, and Tesla is, it's doing better today. But if you bought Tesla, you would need to go down to a smaller time frame. I mean, I know some people just like buying Tesla on the dips, but this is not really right. This is still saying it's bearish. What you want to see is you want to see a strong stock where the wave is trading comfortably above the tunnel. Consumer staples, XLP. The biggest holding is Procter & Gamble with 14.68%. This was up 2.97% this year. Other holdings, Costco, Coca-Cola, PepsiCo, Walmart, all good companies, all really good companies. And this is also important because if you're looking to find good companies, you might want to look at the top 10 holdings of the outperforming ETFs. Because I know with me, I'm always thinking, okay, there's so much out there. There's a whole huge universe of stocks. How do I even decide what to buy? Or do I do ETFs? So this is one way to do it. Let's look at the XLP, consumer staples, the weekly chart on the left. It's doing pretty well. This was this was our setup for a breakout 4 trade. Yeah, I think it was right here. Yeah, this would have been a breakout 4 trade on the weekly, on the consumer staples right down here. Okay. And then what happens, on the daily chart, now the wave is pointed up. So we've come off this bottom, the wave has pointed up, and it's let me just go back. I mean, it's okay. Again, you want to be buying on the dip into the wave. That's the best location for it. Let's look at P&G. P&G also trading sideways and buy on dip scenario. Because this is flat, this was a buy on dip scenario into the tunnel. We're in a bullish environment, so it's a buy on dip scenario into the tunnel, and then we take out these price highs, we go above the wave, and the wave has started to turn around and point upwards. So now when we're up here, yeah, I mean, it's bullish, but you want to be buying maybe on a retracement down to the filter. You want the price to catch up with the filter if you're not already long. XLE Energy, a laggard, down 0.38% year to date. So biggest holdings, ExxonMobil, Chevron Corp, ConocoPhillips, Schlumberger. Now, I'm going to show you an example. We had a nice setup, a weekly setup in Chevron. So I'm going to show you that. Like I said, you're going to find weekly setups to buy with the laggard ETFs. Okay, so you want to be careful with that too, because if it is a laggard, you really want to get into it. But we have to look at the setup and see if and see what we think for every setup that we have. I wish I could show you, I wish it were October 2022 environment where I could show you that we have tons and tons of stocks setting up, but we don't. Okay, I showed you that example at the beginning. So here we are with energy. we're flat. I mean, the wave is above the tunnel, so it's still bullish on the weekly, but the wave has flattened out to the tunnel, so it's a buy on dip scenario on the weekly. And you see all of these dots too. These are our indicators. So the red dot, the blue is the smallest swing move. Then comes the red, then comes yellow, then comes gray, then comes purple. There's a lot to say about this as well, which I'm not going to get into. So here we are on the daily, and you can see that the wave is below the tunnel. So it's no wonder why it's down. The wave is above the tunnel. If I were to buy this, I would want to wait for the wave to start to move higher and cross above the tunnel, because that would be a sign of strength for the ETF. Right now, it's still weak. It's still in bearish territory. We really need on the daily. So we want to see this to cycle back above the tunnel. On the weekly, it's still okay. On the weekly, it's still okay, but we want to see the wave to start to cycle above the tunnel. And if price goes above these levels, that's when it will happen. So now looking at ExxonMobil, here we have, again, the wave is above the tunnel, so we're in bullish territory. We're still in bearish territory on the daily chart. So we want the wave to start to point upwards, and we want price to certainly move above the tunnel, but we want the wave to start to cross above the tunnel to be really, really bullish on this. Now the financials, okay, up 3.67% year to date. Leader is not the leader. The strongest weight is Berkshire Hathaway at 13.18%, followed by JP Morgan Chase at 9.36%, my alma mater, Visa, MasterCard, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, etc. So these are performing very, very well. Let's see why. Okay. So this is interesting, the financials. The wave was sideways to the tunnel, and look what happens. We start to take out these price highs, and the wave starts to turn up. So and now we are the wave is comfortably above the tunnel. The first thing that's going to move is price. Then it's going to be the filter. So an early indication is the price and then the filter moving up. So the first indication is price moving above these highs. And at that point, the filter is turning up. So, and the wave is turning up. So we're bullish at that point. If you look at the daily, we had a nice opportunity to get into this right over here. Yeah, this was a really nice opportunity. So this is this is the start of the year, the vertical, nice opportunity. Now you would want to wait for a pullback. We just want to wait for a pullback. Is it ideal to get in here? If you're trading on a smaller time frame, you can certainly get in on the smaller time frame. You will still see these same patterns. So if you're looking at the hourly chart, you will see price moving down. Maybe over here, price came down into the wave, which gave a good indication to get in if you're more day trading or swing trading. But I'm just showing you the bigger picture. I don't know. And here's Berkshire Hathaway. This is really, really bullish. This has been bullish with the wave comfortably above the tunnel for, well, yeah, like for a long time. This is beautiful. So on the weekly chart, every time price goes into the wave with the red dot, you want to be looking to buy. Now, here's where we are. Again, you're not going to be buying on the daily chart. You want to be looking at the smaller time frames if you still want to get into Berkshire Hathaway, but we had an opportunity here to be buying. Like this was gorgeous. And we had this in the market in general, where we had this pullback in January. Okay, but now look, the market has taken off. Healthcare, this is performing well this year so far, 4.11%. Yeah. last year wasn't such a great year for healthcare, but okay, so it's starting out well. LLY, United Health Group, Johnson & Johnson, Merck & Company, etc. So this is the biggest holding, Eli Lilly at 10.10%. Let's look at healthcare. Yeah, so the market had traded sideways for all of 2023. So when it trades sideways, you have to buy on the dip. You have to buy. Now, you don't know that it's going to be trading sideways. You just don't know. So this is a good entry point. If you didn't sell it out, then you'd be sitting here in a loss. Like you have to use your, you have to use your judgment, I guess, if you're going to take profits. It's always good to take some profits, even if you take half your position off, and have a strategy to get out of the other half if it starts to go down. But now look, we've had some very strong weekly candles moving up since November in healthcare, and this is the start of the year. So we finished strong and we're continuing on up. Okay, again, we had a nice retracement into the wave here to buy. So would I be buying right now? Not on this time frame, only on a smaller time frame. Okay, Eli Lilly, same, not the same pattern. This is a very strong stock. So very strong stock. The wave is comfortably above the tunnel on the weekly chart. Here we had a nice sideways pattern on the daily. So this is when the wave is flat to the tunnel, you want to be buying the dip. And this is how we progressed this year so far, buying the dip. Now we're at the point T. Point T means that we're at a high point. Does it mean that we won't go higher? No. Like we can obviously go higher, and this will repaint. I don't suggest that you sell just because we have the purple arrows and the market is moving up. What I'm saying is you don't want to be buying up here. It's still a strong trend. So you do not want to go short for sure, but do you want to be going long up here? Probably not. Industrials, XLI, Caterpillar is the biggest percentage holding, Union Pacific, General Electric, Uber Technologies, some of the stocks that are within it. It's up 1.39% for the year as of 2 days ago. And this is the weekly chart. So we had a nice retracement on the weekly. We had a nice retracement on the daily. So same story. We're not at the point to be on the daily to be going long necessarily. Although this is probably not a very, I would say that we haven't accelerated like we saw in some of the others. So yeah, I mean, this isn't bad to be, like this was probably a good, good time to look at maybe the 4-hour chart and get in. Let me see what it's doing today. Yeah, okay. We took out these highs. Okay, so we did move up. But this was kind of flat. Yeah, good area to get in on the 4-hour chart. Here's Caterpillar. Okay, we had a nice strong reversal candle. So Caterpillar, yeah, see what happens when we have a strong move to the upside? We run the risk of coming back, and that's exactly what we did. I mean, quite a bit. Okay, so again, with CAT, you want to be looking at the 4-hour chart or the hourly chart to see if you can get in. Here's materials. LIN at 21.05%, Sherwin-Williams, Freeport McMoran, Air Products and Chemicals. So let's have a look at materials, XLB, down 2.86%. Well, this is why. We had a flat weekly chart, very flat, and at the end of the year, we were up at previous highs, and the market has come down since. So not surprising, not surprising. on the daily, we came down to a very significant area here right below the tunnel. So this is actually a nice support area, nice level to be buying. Okay, nice level to be buying here. We gap down, nice level to be buying because we are into support on the weekly, into the wave. We're not chasing the market. So nice level to be buying for a move higher. Here's Lynn, same story, had a nice pullback. This is a nice level to be buying on Lynn. Nice level to be buying. Let me just have a look to see what Lynn is doing right now because this was 2 days ago. Oh, wow. Okay, we're trading all the way up here now at 421. Wow. Yeah. Okay. So it was it literally was a nice level to be buying because we're already up here because this is a gorgeous pattern. Like this is a nice 3-wave move right into the tunnel with the gray arrow. This is just a beautiful place to be buying. And yeah. Okay. Too late now on this pattern. XLRE down 4.37%. And these are some of the biggest holdings, the 10 biggest holdings in real estate. So this is definitely a lagger. And yeah, I mean, also we're at significant support here on the weekly and we're at significant support on the daily. I don't know. Some people think that real estate is going to turn around. Not a bad level to be buying here. Let me see what it's doing. XLRE, let me just see. Yeah, I mean, it popped up. It popped up a little bit. Yeah, I mean, we're trading at 38 or so. So it popped up a little bit. But whenever you see this kind of, entering in support, you might not want to hold it for a long time because it is weak, but good level to buy it. And the wave is above the tunnel on the daily. So this is a beautiful retracement into the tunnel below the wave into the tunnel. PLD, largest holding in real estate. Yeah, I mean, this is a nice pattern for buying. Nice pattern. Okay. So I'm just trying to get you not to look at the market map and not to chase. Like we don't want to be chasing. We only chase on the smaller time frames. Here's technology up 5.07%. We have one more after this. Microsoft, Apple, Nvidia, biggest holdings here. Okay, really big holdings. And start of the year, vertical line, we've gone up. Here we had some nice consolidation on the weekly. Nice consolidation. So we came right down into the wave. This was a nice area to be buying. Okay, nice area to be buying. Yep. And we are trading. I just looked. We're trading up here now. Okay. Microsoft. Yeah. So it's bullish. The wave is comfortably above the tunnel on both the weekly and the daily charts. So you just want to buy the pullbacks. You want to buy the pullbacks. We had a nice pullback here and we had a pullback here. Pullbacks are only going to be into the filter when we have such a strong trajectory. And the last one, utilities, also a laggard, down 2.91%. And these are some of the biggest holdings. And this might be a little bit boring. I don't usually, this is like a new presentation for me, but I kind of wanted to go through the ETFs myself because I just wanted to get a better handle of what was going on within the indices and within the SPY, the SPDR ETF. So that's why I did this presentation for you. So I don't know. I hope you're enjoying it, trying to learn something here. We're going to get to the scanner shortly, and I will show you Forex as well. So XLU utilities, look at this. Laggard. I mean, the wave is below the tunnel on the weekly. I mean, it's definitely weak. This is weak. And same here on the daily. So would I be really looking to aggressively go long this? Not really. Okay. I would want to see the wave to start to move above the tunnel and for price action to start to move higher. And here we go. NEE, same pattern. I mean, the wave is below the tunnel. The wave is below the tunnel. Now we do have a setup. We do have a setup to buy after the market has made a move down. We do when the wave is below the tunnel, but it's only a short term, like it's a short term move, especially on stocks. Like there's so many better stocks that are in bullish territory with a wave, with the wave above the tunnel. Why would I be, really aggressive taking trades on, on some of these stocks that look like this? I wouldn't. So now let's show, so what I did was I ran the scanner tool on what I just showed you. So 11 sectors times 10 in each, so 110. That's not a lot. I like to run the scanner on the universe of stocks, so maybe the S&P 500, NASDAQ. I want to run it on as many stocks as I can. So maybe I did a disservice by running it on just 110 stocks, but let's see what we get. And I want to show you how to read the scanner as well. So we're going to look at TradeStation first. Then we're going to look at NinjaTrader. NinjaTrader is our newest platform that we have, and we can scan for the purple arrows, the gray arrows. We can also scan for the breakout 4 trades. We can scan for trend line breaks. So I'm going to show you that. And we can also, I'm going to show you on NinjaTrader the smaller time frames. It's really so neat. And for day trading. And then Motive Wave is great and MT4 is great. This is what we use for the currencies, MT4. So again, these are all of the Wavy Tunnel Pro setups. The breakout 4 is down here. The breakout 3 are bounces off the filter or bounces off the wave for the strong trend. We have the end of the trend setup as well. We call it the price to wave and then the fill the gap. So we have a move down into the tunnel before we get the buy. So this is actually a sell. And then we have this is another area for buying, okay? Now just note that when we have divergence in the awesome oscillator, this is how we can label the wave 3 and the wave 5. We see that price is running out of steam, but we don't want to just pick tops. We have to wait. We have to wait for confirmation. And I didn't talk much about that, but you would want to look for a 1, 2, 3 reversal. You want to draw your channel lines, maybe go down to a smaller time frame on this, draw your channel lines, and when we break down below the filter, maybe the move is over and we're going to see this kind of price action into the tunnel, maybe just into the wave. So I just want to explain what this looks like. This is the scanner tool. These are weeklies on the TradeStation. You can sort by ready or you can sort by signal. So here I've sorted by signal. I'm going to show you what that means. I've sorted by signal, and you see there aren't any recent setups. Chevron is a recent setup 3 weeks ago, and the signal hit 2 weeks ago. I'm going to show you Chevron. We talked about that earlier. You can also scan by ready if you want to get more signals, but the signal hasn't happened yet. That's sort of my confirmation. When we go above the green 12 EMA average, that's when the signal occurs. That's just how it is. And we have entry, stop, and 3 profit targets. And you can change these profit target levels. And then what we have here, P&L and P&L percentage, all this means is how, in the parentheses, how many profit targets have been hit. And I have to go through, I do this every once in a while. I have to figure out what it is on the S&P 500. I have to get that program so that we know exactly what the stats are. Yeah, I don't do it. I have to get it programmed so that we know automatically. But I can tell you that for those weekly signals, it was, I don't know, I think 80% were successful and hit, like, or 70% hit all three targets, something like that. And for those daily signals, the same. So we have more readies here. We can also scan on the daily. Now this gives me an idea of like what's going on. These are all red, which means that these were all bearish setups. Okay, interesting. All bearish setups. This is the 60-minute. So we have more bullish setups on the 60-minute, as you can see, because we're in ozone territory for a lot, like strong in the we're at high levels close to the point T in a lot of these markets. So that's why we go down to the 60-minute and we will see a lot of these setups on the 60-minute. And I'm just showing you ready, signal. These are the signals. Okay, so I want to just show you one example with the trend line break. We can look for the breakout 4 on the weekly chart. We scan for the breakout 4 trade, the gray arrow, and then scan for automatic trend line breaks and confirm entry with the 1, 2, 3 reversal or with candlesticks. So this is the pattern that we're looking for. We're looking for the end of the wave C with trend line breaks. So our scanner does have automatic trend line breaks. I didn't set it up so that it's all on the same page. This is only the breakout 4. So on the next page, I'm going to show you Chevron. We're going to look at Chevron because we have the beautiful setup on Chevron on the weekly chart. Okay, and these are with the 110 stocks that we looked at. So there aren't many opportunities, as you can see. But I can tell you, if we look down at all of these buys, look at all these. 3 targets hit, 3 hit, 3 hit, 3 hit, 3 hit, 2 hit, 3 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 hit, 1 hit, 3 hit, 3 hit, 3 hit. None hit on these 2. None hit on this one. 3, 3, 3, 3, 2, 0, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 1, 0. So of all of these, I don't know how many there are, like, I guess 10, 20, showing on this page, you should have counted them, 3, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, I guess, or 45. There were only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with no targets hit. So that is 10% no targets hit, 90% 3 targets hit or 2 targets hit or 1 target hit. I'm just doing this off the cuff. I can just see right from here for these 110 stocks. Okay, getting back to Chevron. Oh, let me just tell you, this happened probably in October 2023 when I told you on the daily. Oh, this is the weekly. Okay, never mind. These were weeks. Okay. Yeah, this is exactly October 2022, right? 68 weeks. Yeah, absolutely. October 2022. This is the weekly. So this is the scanner for the trend line breaks. Looking at Chevron, we have 2 trend line breaks over here. So now let's look at the chart, and we have the weekly signal right over here. On the daily, we had 2 trend line breaks right over here, kicking off the move, 2 trend line breaks. Okay, so this is how we find our setups, and then we decide what we're going to do and how we're going to take the trade. And I usually look at a smaller time frame, and usually the hourly, and look for a move like this and then a retracement into the wave before taking it. So a 1, 2, 3 reversal. And these are the profit targets. Okay, these were trades that I showed, several weeks ago, I guess in my maybe January presentation. So just to let you know how it played out, okay, Dollar Tree, and this was taken yesterday. So it hit 2 profit targets. And this is PepsiCo. It hit 2 profit targets. And this is Morgan Stanley. It hit 3 profit targets. This is Ulta. It hit all profit targets. This is Coca-Cola. It hit close to the 3rd profit target. This is SRE. Okay, it hit close to the 3rd profit target and then came down. So very important to take your profits. Let's look at NinjaTrader quickly. So NinjaTrader has the same trend line breaks and the same breakout 4 trades. I don't want to go into this. Oh, this was a sell on Starbucks. All 3 profit targets were hit. Let's look at day trading timeframes. So this happened February 5th, 2 days ago, 10:50 a.m. This was a perfect setup. 2 of my traders, oh, this is a QQQ on the 5-minute. Yeah, we were 2 of my traders took this on the NQ, the MNQ, and this is one of our breakout 4 setups. Okay, this is on the QQQ. So when I said if you want to go long something that's moving up, go to the smaller time frame and you want to buy in the retracement. Okay, and this is the setup. This is the perfect setup. This is it on the SPYs. Perfect opportunity to buy. The wave is still above the tunnel. It comes down, and for this trade, all 3 profit targets were hit. Here is the one of my traders took this trade. This is another setup, took this trade short. Okay, beautiful trade setup. And then we took this trade long. Okay, we took this trade long. Beautiful setups. Motive wave, I'm not going to have time to go through this, but all of these scans are just down below. You can see that this is the breakout 4 trade for a sell. This is for a buy. It's just showing us all of these patterns for a buy. Now you have to do more work to decide if you're going to take it or not. This is a buy. This is a buy. I'm just going down the list. MT4. Let me just show you MT4. We have 6 wavy tunnel setups that can be found on the scanner. The price to wave, fill the gap, so the end of the trend. We have the breakout 1 that would be down here. The breakout 3 trades along the trend. The breakout 4 is down here, plus automatic trend line breaks. It's difficult to watch all the pairs unless you get alerted when there is a setup. Then you can go to the chart and take the trade if it meets your risk criteria. And on MT4, you can get the currencies, you can get stocks. We have a funded program, so you can get stocks. Even if you're living in the US, you can get the CFDs, all of the CFDs. So all of the commodities and all of the stock indices and the bonds. So here's a Forex example. I ran this earlier today, I guess. Earlier today, I said, let me just run this. I just put up the US dollar pairs. Now, when I traded at JP Morgan, I was the British pound trader. So I looked at the pound and I looked at all the crosses as well, like the pound crosses. That's really very important to me. But I just put up the US dollar pairs and I scanned for the 1 minute, the 5 minute, the 15 minute, the 1 hour, the 4 hour, and the daily. So I noticed that the M1 on the Aussie, okay, by the time I printed this out, this had changed and it had already moved, but I want to show you what it looked like. The breakout 4 was now at 14 minutes, but at the open, like in the Forex open, it had just kicked off. Okay, so we saw 1s and 2s for the breakout 4, and we saw the trend line breaks exactly at the same time. So let me show you that. So here is the Aussie dollar. This is where I have the red box. This was the signal, and we had two trend lines there on top of one another. You can see the blue arrow, and underneath is a magenta arrow because they happen to be the same trend lines using different criteria. So, and this this magenta is the one target, and this blue is the blue trend line target. We actually have the targets programmed in the MT4 platform. So this was a beautiful trade on the 1-minute chart right at the market open, and it hit both targets for the two trend line breaks. Just gorgeous. Okay. Okay, this is not up to date, but these are all of the indices and the bonds for global bonds and global indices. Same thing. And these are all the commodities, same thing. And again, I don't have the stocks up, but you can use this for the stocks as well. The MT4 platform was the first platform that we used. So let me just quickly show you what we have to offer today. We have the indicator suite and scanners on MT4 on TradeStation. I showed you MT4, I showed you TradeStation, I briefly showed you MotiveWave, and I showed you NinjaTrader. And then we have the indicator suite on wealth charts. So we don't have the scanner on wealth charts, but we have the scanner and the indicator suite on all of these platforms. What I'm offering you today is complete education to understand how the markets trade in cycles, use our proprietary combination of cycle high and low indicators with momentum indicators to warn of market tops and bottoms. So we have the also alerts. You can set alerts for the purple and the gray tops and bottoms. It works with stocks, futures, ETFs, Forex, and cryptocurrencies, works for day swing and position trading. Find precise entry points for options strategies. Embrace this suite of professional tools to trade like a pro. And the website is posted in the box. Thank you, David. wavytunnelpro.com/6-month-elite-tools. Yeah. Some of the bonuses, you are going to get Elite Tool Scanner training. You will get live training sessions on the key Wavy Tunnel Pro trade plans. So on all of these trade plans, and we have a trading blotter that you can use, like a cheat sheet, dedicated Discord channel, but really great education too. One-on-one coaching session with me, because I want to make sure that you're using it correctly and that you set goals for yourself, and monthly office hours to discuss the setups and answer questions. So you're going to get a trial for the first month for $49, and then it's $5.97 for a 6-month subscription for MT4, TradeStation, MotiveWave, and NinjaTrader. If you're interested, email me if you have questions. And the wealth charts is for the year subscription. Again, the trial is $49. So I want to thank you for being here, and please, if you can email me if you have any questions, Jody at fxtradersedge.com or support at fxtradersedge.com, and I'll answer your questions right away.